my information doesn't, if I remember my information correctly, now he was righteous before the eyes of the Most High, and he had it to where, certain ones of the Assyrians done come up and tried to take over the Jerusalem, man. And they took Lachish, hence the Lachish reliefs that I had mentioned before. Okay, all right, and you had it to where it must be, I think it was Sargon II that came up against Jerusalem. Okay, and he fulfilled in taking some of those cities, but he couldn't take it down. But when you go to his predecessor, which was Ahaz, all right, he was wicked before the eyes of the Most High, man, and that goes as an example. Because certain ones of the people, even though when Hezekiah was in power, certain ones of the people were still holding fast to those idols, man. Okay, they were still holding fast to those doctrines, even though, for the most part, he was taking, or rather more, it had been put out from the land. But when a famine might come, they will revert back onto the old ways, and over a process of time, they go so heavy that when you read in Jeremiah that the Most High put that curse upon them to discontinue from their heritage, man. So this is dealing with Ahaz, okay, right, and he set up temples. He went down to Damascus. You're gonna see this account, right? He went down to Damascus, which is in Syria. All right, he saw a particular temple that he liked. He came back onto Jerusalem and he started building up them altars, man. All right, so this is 2 Kings, the 16th chapter on the 10th verse, and it says, "And the king Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, right, the king of Assyria, and he saw an altar that was at Damascus, and the king Ahaz sent Uriah the priest, right, the fashion of the altar and the pattern of it, right, according to the workmanship, and Uriah the priest built an altar according to the king of Ahaz from Damascus. So Uriah the priest made it against Ahaz, came from Damascus, man." So that's one account. Now, where's the account? Really, one of the accounts that I like is when the scriptures talk about him, because he was a wicked dude, man. All right, he was a wicked king. Right, so we go to the third verse. All right, rather more the second verse, 2 Kings 16:2. It says, right, and in the 20th year of Ahaz, when he began to reign in the 16th year. In Jerusalem, he did not that which was right in the sight of the Lord, right? His power, like David his father, but walked in all the ways of Israel. Yea, he made his son to pass through the fire. So this dude was so wicked. He's supposed to be the king, the leader, and all of that. Okay, he's supposed to be setting forth the example for the whole house of Jerusalem. All right, because Israel had already been, if I'm not mistaken, right about that time, Israel had been taken down. Okay. But he's supposed to be an example of Jerusalem, right? Which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? And he's making his own sons to pass through the fire, man. He's sacrificing his own sons to Moloch and all of that, man. Right? Now, when you had it to where Hezekiah came forth, he was the stark contrast of his father, man. All right? He put away all of that wickedness that was, that was amidst the land, all right? And he got the people back heavy into the scriptures, all right? But ultimately, they reverted back onto that, and they got so deep into it by the time when you got it to where the Babylonians rose up. The Most High had to raise up the Babylonians to take down Jerusalem, man. Okay, that's how heavy they got into that wickedness. All right. So it says here, but he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel. Yeah, he made his own sons to pass through the fire. What's wrong with your hands? Right? Yeah, he made his own hands to pass through the fire according to the abominations of the heathen. See, dude, you don't even know what I'm talking about. He's an asshole, man. And that goes to show you folly is set in great dignity within this society. Here it is, if I was dressed in a suit or something like that, people would stand and stop and look and listen. But it is what it is, It is what it is. It comes with the territory, Okay, so it says, pass through the fire according to the abominations of the heathen, whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. And he sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places, in all the hills, and under every green tree. Now let's jump to Jeremiah. We're going to go back to Jeremiah, the 17th chapter, on the 4th verse in a second. But if we go to Jeremiah, rathermore, one of the first verses is going to give you an example, all right, of how Israel were dealing, right? So that was Israel dealing in the time of what? Tiglath-Pileser, the Assyrian Empire, and all of that. Now, when the Medo-Persian Empire had rose up to take down No, that's incorrect. The Babylonians had to be raised up to take down Jake. All right, and then I believe the Babylonians were taken down. Did they take down the Medo-Persian Empire? I forget. I get it mixed up sometimes, but it is what it is. Okay, it ain't no history lesson per se. But you still got to know that history. But pretty much, when the Babylonians were coming up into power, man. Okay, yeah, because the Babylonians came after the Assyrians, because the Babylonians destroyed Nineveh. You can read the account in Nahum, the first chapter, the second chapter, and the third chapter. Now when what's this guy's name now, man? When Jonah was on the scene, the Most High had and that goes to show you the Most High is back, man. Because the Most High had it to where Jonah, you gotta do this prophesying. Jonah said, look, I ain't with that, man. All right, so Jonah he wanted to go down to Spain or something. Okay, went on a boat to Spain. All right, they threw him off the ship. He got caught up in a big fish. All right, got thrown back out in Nineveh, and the Most High had it to where he prophesied out there. People reverted back. Here it is. He was still thinking that they're gonna be destroyed. All right. But the Most High suffered them to continue as a kingdom. Now that goes to show you that the Most High can do whatever He wants, man. Okay, He can do whatever he wants to do. Now after Jonah, you had it to where the prophet Nahum came. Now when Nahum came and he prophesied against Nineveh, Nineveh was destroyed, man. Nineveh being the capital of the Assyrians, and he was destroyed by I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar who destroyed Nineveh. Okay, and that was the rise of what? The Babylonian Empire, and they reigned for a certain period of time, but really the Lord was like, nah, they're wicked too, man. And really they were only raised up to take down Judah and Jerusalem, man. And after they had been raised up, they got taken down too by the Medo-Persians, and after the Medo-Persians, you had it to where Alexander Alexander the So-Called Great came about, and he was warring it out with, what's this guy's name? I forget, was it Darius? I forget though. All right, so don't quote me on that. You gotta check out your own history. I ain't got my notes here to refer back to. Okay, so getting back onto the point, this was what was happening after all of that Hezekiah had done in restoring, the people onto the righteous ways and all of that. It was so hard-headed they reverted back. Why? Because prophecy had to take place to what they was going to discontinue from their heritage, but more so that they were going to be spread out and scattered from abroad. All right, those prophecies had to take place. All right, and they had to end up where they are right now within the land as America, man. And now the Most High is having it to where when we go back into Joel the 3rd chapter, now He's bringing back the whole fold together, man. Okay, when you go into Obadiah speaks about how the Most High is gonna have it to where the house of Jerusalem, right, and the house of Israel is gonna be like fire, and the house of Esau is gonna be what? Like stubble, man. So we're gonna be like fire because we're gonna be what? In unison, in one doctrine, in one serving under one power, man. And in fact, there's another scripture that slips my mind, the exact quotation of it. All right, but it says something to the effect of the Most High having it to where Israel is one half of the stick, all right, and Jerusalem is another half of the stick, and the Most High is gonna join them both, and what? It's gonna pretty much judge the heathen, man. All right. So we go back to Jeremiah the 1st chapter, and I'm gonna nitpick a few points. All right, you all right? Okay, all right, man. All right. All right. This is the book of Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, from the 1st verse on down. Right, Jeremiah 2. It says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord. All right, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, right, the love of thine espouse. Okay, and thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in the land that was not sown, and Israel was holiness unto the Most High the Lord, and the first fruit of His increase." Okay, and there's a lot said in that, man. Okay, the Most High likened us unto His women. Man, now you had it to where you got Jake, and you got it to where the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native, they all up into their women now. How much more so the Most High into really the men within Israel, man? Okay, because He said, when you go into the scriptures, it says, "Behold, the tabernacles of the Most High is with men." Okay, so hey, even in that there's a lot said, man. All right, it says, "And Israel was His holiness, right, unto the Lord, and the first fruits of His increase, and all they that devour Him, right, shall offend." So you had it to where the Most High put it within the spirit of these Babylonians, right, the Medo-Persians, all of them different nations, them rose up to what? Punish the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? But all them that rose up against us in our punishment, right, were really offending the Most High. Now take a look at that. All right, and it says here, shall offend, and even shall come upon them, saith the Lord. And it says, hear the word of the Lord, O house of Jacob, O families of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, what iniquity have your fathers found in me? Okay, now it was a rhetorical question, because it's like, yo, I've put you in this beautiful land, okay, right? When you do good in this land, you got it to where the grass grows, right? The cattle graze upon the grass, so you got it to where the land is full of milk, okay? You got milk, you got cheese, you got butter, okay? All right, you got it to where the sheep's gonna grow, man. You're gonna graze upon the hills within Jerusalem. So you got sheep, you got wool, you got clothes, man. So you got it to where all of these resources are coming off of this land. Now, it ain't like how it looks right now within so-called Jerusalem right now with the heathen there, because they're not the people, man. That's why they're gonna import stuff, man. And when Jerusalem, the real whole of Israel, when they go back into that place, guess what, man? The land's gonna be fruitful, man. It's gonna be a land of honey, of which honey means what? You got bees. If you got bees, you got what? You got pollination happening. You got it to where you got all kind of fruits and wheat and all that kind of stuff growing, man. Okay, that's why the Most High likened it unto a land flowing with milk and honey, man. Okay, that's what he said. He said it's going to be a land flowing with milk and honey, man. Right? Going to say what? It's going to be a fruitful land, man. All right, you all right, brother? Where you from?
Okay.
Yeah, where you from? No, where your parents from, man? Nigeria. Oh, so you're Yoruba, Igbo?
Yeah, Yoruba.
Yoruba. Okay, so when you go into the Bible, you're actually an Israelite. Okay, when you go into the history of the Nigerians, okay. Now the word Igbo comes from the Hebrew word Ibar, which means Hebrew. Ibar, which means Hebrew. Now, and certain customs that you still have out there in Nigeria, like this is not uncommon in Nigeria to wear long garments, because you know why? Because that's biblical. It goes back into the Bible, man. Yeah. All right. Now, would you believe in God? You believe in the Most High? Yeah. Right.
Sorry,
oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. You're an Israelite, though, man. You're an Israelite. Remember that, yeah? All right, man. You have a good day, man. All right. So it says here, and thus saith the Lord, what iniquity have you found in me? Okay. Right. So the Lord was basically saying, furthermore, what iniquity have your fathers found in me? So you got it to where you got this whole beautiful land, okay, and you got it to where that land got all kind of natural resources coming off of the back of it. All right. You can go to where you can live off the land. It's beautiful, and that's just the land. Let alone the spirit of the Most High is put upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man. To where whatever venture you decide to go out to, it prospers, man. If you're following the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Most High, okay. Whatever venture you get into, all right, you prosper within that, man. Okay. But Lord had to put it out there. What iniquity have you found in me? Because they went off on the Lord's statutes, commandments, man. They was sacrificing their children to Moloch. Okay, they were serving and burning incense unto them different gods of the nations of the heathens. All right, so the Most High had to pose that question. But really, there is no iniquity with the Most High, because what? Because the Most High is perfection, man. That's why the Scripture says, "Be ye perfect, right, as your Father in heaven is perfect." Okay, now let's get back into this. And thus saith the Lord, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they have gone far from me and walked after vanity, right, and have become vain. All right, and I believe when you go into the word vanity, it goes into emptiness. But on a deeper level, I believe it even goes into the word iniquity, evil. Okay, all right. So they walked after evil, man. All right, and you see the state that the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are in right now. You better. There's no question about it. That we're the Israelites, man. You see how the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are living in favelas and ghettos, all right? Are completely destroyed as a people, man. There's no structure or anything like that. We're the only nation that they have that's completely out of order, man. Completely out of order. You go out there into Moab land with this, with this small peck of Moabite, all right? And he's got his whole household in order, man. Now think about that. All right, but here it is. You got to where the greatest people upon the face of the planet. You can't create no order, not even in your own house. Can you create any kind of order, man? Why? Because you got that curse upon you to where you can't implement no order in the house. Hence, the Scripture says the tender and delicate women among you, she's gonna become rough, man. And you see, man, hey, man, them Jake women, man, sometimes, man, they're more beastly than these men, man. Okay, they're more beastly than that, man. Why? Because the Most High had put that spirit upon him. Now he had that tender and delicateness upon him. You would have had it to where what? Jake would have been able to institutionalize his own house and, you know, and really get into the law and, you know, put the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High out into his own house, man. We can't do that. So what? As a result of all of that, when you build it up on a grander scale, you got complete chaos, man. All right. To get back into the scriptures, it says, hey, but ye have gone up off the valley and become vain. All right. Neither said they, right, where is the Lord that brought us up out of the land, out of Egypt? Because they would have dudes forgot about that, man. They forgot about this great work that the Most High did for the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. They forgot about that. They was worried about what? Right? Following the ways of the heathens, man. Okay? Following the ways of the Egyptians, named specifically because they, like I said before, man, the Egyptians were like that land of Egypt. Really, they forgot about the deliverance they had from catching the hell that they was in underneath the Egyptians, and they started reminiscing about all of the so-called pleasures that they had over there. Because just like how you got it right now, you got it to where the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are in captivity right now underneath Esau, which is also, you know them as the Rothschilds, right? The elite banking families and all of that. They're in that hell right now, but Esau's gonna give you certain things, man. All right, just like how you had it, you ain't gonna be working 24/7 all the time, man. All right. In any captivity, after a certain period of time, you got it to where you got hardcore captivity, all right, which is always, you know, when you take down the nations. But after a period of time, right, maybe the second generation king that comes into play, right? For instance, you had the Assyrian rulership, all right, and they would have taken the Israel into their land, okay. And the first king there would have put all kind of hell upon them, all right, upon Israel. Now, when the second king comes, when the king's son comes and he's in rulership, he might have certain different principles, and that's the same thing with Esau. When Esau took us, you know, when he took them Negroes from the land, you know, as Africa and all of that, and from the west of Africa, and he put them over into America and all of that. But you had 300-400 years of hardcore captivity, man. 300-400 years of hardcore captivity. But now you got it to where what? Now you could be a slave for what, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and you can go home, and Esau's gonna give you certain, you know, things to make you believe you're free and that, man. Okay? And that's what Jake gets caught up into. Alright, they get trapped by that, because really that comfortability is a trap, man. And that's why the scripture says, was it the book of James, they love not the world, neither the things that are therein. Because what? Because you're basically loving your own captivity, man. Right? The enslavement of your mind. And that's what Esau's really got down to a mathematical formula, right? He's only got to give you certain amount of leverages, certain amounts of freedom, quote unquote, because it's not really freedom, all right? He'll allow you to get a car and a house, but you still got to, you know, you still got to do certain things. You still got to pay your taxes. You still got to work in a certain way, man. All right, that's hardcore, man. All right, to where you up in age in your 60s and the 70s, your knees are all messed up. Okay, that goes back onto what you catching all kind of hell underneath Esau. But the point I was making is this: you got this example quoted within the scriptures. All right, where the scripture says, right, where is the Lord that brought us up out of the land of Egypt? Okay. Because what? Because they've forgotten about that, because they was all interested in the little dainty pleasures that they got in those different captivities, man. All right, now let's carry on with that. And it says, and that led us through the wilderness, all right, and through the land of the deserts and of the pits, and through a land of drought and of shadow and of death, and through a land that no man passeth through, where no man dwelt. And I brought you into a plentiful land. So the Lord brought us into that land of plentifulness, man. We was living good, man. All right, we was all right, man. Until you two niggas messed it up for everybody, as you do all the time, man. Right? Everybody knows, man. You don't have to be an Israelite to know them niggas is bad for you, man. Okay, all right. So they done messed it up for everybody, and you had it to where you had niggas spirits out there within Israel, man, and they messed it up for everybody, man. They messed it up for the whole nation, but really Israel was more wicked, all right, than Jerusalem. That's why the Most High had it to where he suffered Jerusalem for a period of time, but over a period of time they became just as wicked. So you had it to where the situation that you have now, which going back onto Jeremiah the 17th chapter on the 4th verse, is as it is. Okay, it says, and thou shalt discontinue from that heritage that I gave, because you've seen those examples within the book of Jeremiah the 2nd chapter now. All right, all the iniquity they were committing. All right. all the abominations that they were committing. I gave you the examples within 2 Kings of all the atrocities that they was doing against the Most High, to where the Most High was like, what iniquity have your fathers found in me? Okay, it says here, thou shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I've given thee, and I'll cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire within my heart that shall burn forever. So the Most High kindled it. We kindled, like, now you think about it, man. When the power is going to say you kindled a fire in him, that goes to tell you the extent, and that is fully manifested, all right, when you go out there into them so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native American neighborhoods, man. You really see that how much we pissed the Most High off, to quote unquote, man, because you put all kind of grievances upon us, man, all kind of grievances, all right. You got sicknesses, all right. You got gun violence. Hey, here it is. You gotta go to work for Esau, your slave master, or you come home from your slave master. You gotta go to a house to a dragon. Now, gun broke up with the bitch, all right. You go live out there on your own. Now you gotta catch, you might live in a neighborhood that's got, all kind of gun crime and all that. You come home to the house, they done taking your shit, man. So that's all the hell that the Most High put upon us, man. Why? Because we kindled a fire against them, and now we lived the period where we had lost our heritage, man. Okay, so it says here, thou shalt continue from thine heritage which I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land that thou knowest not, for ye have kindled the fire within my heart. So the land that we didn't know ultimately became America, because you got it to where Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, now they're all out there within the Americas now, okay, and they're serving that captivity based upon what? Debt, okay. You're debt slaves now, okay. So you want to get a car, all right. Esau ain't gonna give you the money, and really the car might cost him $1,000 to make. Okay, but he wants to have you in a perpetual state of being in debt. Now, the proof that the car could actually cost you about a